game.
They swap sides.
Oh yeah. So they were not on the correct sides. And, the Valiant looked like they were having just to play along, and both teams were. But you know, all things need to be handled in correct order.
Like, we didn't want defense, but if our defense is going to start like this, we'll take it. Oh, so you have Ryan. So Reinhardt on D here. I wonder if we see the Valiant try and go with anything a little bit more DPS heavy, or we see the Ryan.
Bro, come on! Who do you think you're talking about? This is like the measured, methodical Los Angeles Valiant here. And they're not prone to flights of fancy. No, I think they're playing 3 tanks and 3 supports.
There's something about Reinhardt players as well. Like, when they see Reinhardt on the other side, regardless of whether it's the right call or the wrong call, they want to play Reinhardt. Like, it's something about this one-on-one Reinhardt battle. The big hammers, everybody's swinging at each other. They want to take.
Agilities. Just trying to see if he could shield bash one of the stragglers from the Defiant as they just quickly reposition on the point. I said a boot. Roki just scroot and back up on the high ground there as he's looking for a spot again to knock someone out of position. Here's the push though. Stella takes a bit of damage, gets bubbled up, and now is fine. Fate, keep your eyes on those main tank health bars. Yakpong and Fate are integral to their teams being able to stand their ground. So Space wants to interpose himself between the two teams, eat as many projectiles as possible, and be a nuisance for the time being until it comes time to dive on someone. Izayaki's been found out though. Ivy just makes his way into the back line, takes the Zenyatta out, and Fate without that extra healing, he's done.
And the Valiant tried at the beginning to get rid of Ivy. They thought he was a little bit out of position. He's over by the cafe. They try and go in and push him, and he's able to get a repair pack, stay alive, and just getting so much damage onto himself, you know, with his bubbles. He's able to turn that into damage as, you know, gets his Graviton Surge here for Kariv. So all 6 ultimates here online for the Defiant. It's important they don't use all of them in this fight.
Yeah,
then the Valiant probably say it.
The Valiant will eventually be close enough to those as well, you're right. So it will be a fight where we see a lot of these ultimates committed. I'll try and keep you abreast of the action. Here we go. Rally for the Valiant now. Just to get up a bit closer and shrug off a lot of the poke damage. Shadow, Stella and Ivy go down. It went under the payload. Self-destruct in the back. Custer couldn't be shielded. He was too far to the left of Fate when he had that barrier up. And Space is going down to that same self-destruct. Envy and Ivy getting so much work done in separate fights. But overall, Toronto looks solid on this defense.
It's a Valiant try and wrap through that choke. It's kind of a difficult spot to avoid the Graviton Surge there that comes down from Ivy. They only pick up 1 with the grab plus self-destruct combo. You get Custa, but it's pretty big because he has sound barrier, right?
I mean, he can't use it. He can't touch the ground. Lucio needs to touch the ground or a horizontal surface to use sound barrier properly. Here comes the self-destruct in and actually catches Roki out. Good result for the Valiant. They find Yakpong in the follow-up here. They have positioning on the point, and that's all they need for now. 4v6 favoring the Valiant, and Custer is not even being looked at. This is where he shines. Weaving in the damage, keeping his team nice and mobile. Even a quick finish on Envy, love to see it. And a Valiant to get on the road here. Look, great defense from Toronto though. You're very happy with that. 3 minutes plus shaved off the clock before the Valiant even get the payload moving.
And look, if they want to come back in this next fight and play close, they can. They'll have Transcendence, Grab, Shatter, Rally, Self-Destruct. A lot where you see where they're playing. They're going to go right up to the door here. Play right at this corner. They want the Valiant to invest some of their ultimates. Toronto will counter with ultimates of their own. And if they get a hold here, they can push through the spawn. They're going to use Rally to engage. The Valiant use the Rally to back up here.
Neither team really taking a huge scratch from that first little foray, and again, I don't blame the Valiant for using the Rally. Earthshatter comes in here. Custer knocked down inside that back room. Izayaki in not great shape either, but the Transcendence comes out. Both teams go for the Graviton Surge, self-destruct. Envy looking for something again. Not so lucky this time. Yakpong has a Discord orb on him, and he's taking a heck of a lot of damage. He has to back away. Try not to force himself into the corner. So many ultimates used. Payload really not moving, but Yakpong's shield is very low, and the Valiant pressure it. Shield down for the enemy Reinhardt on the side of the Defiant, and they run him over. That's the first pick, the most important.
This is still fine for the Defiant, though, Mitch. They're playing so close up. How many ultimates you have to see the Valiant invest to keep moving the card?
Gosh, Izayaki.
Sick aim.
I mean, the orbs are not light speed, right? They take time to travel. You have to lead your target a fair bit. Now, it's easier if they're closer to you, in all fairness, but you also, you know, if you're holding down mouse 1, The orbs will come out at a constant speed. You need to be able to make adjustments for those. It's just nice to see. Transcendence.
Toronto has played this defense well, though. I mean, they've kind of played it in terms of like the best percentages to win the half. Like, they're definitely making the right calls here.
It's not flashy, but they're making the right moves, man. Here's that Transcendence I was about to mention. Is Yaki pushing forward? Oh, Kareem notices Adolf in the corner. Nicely spotted. He had a Transcendence, but he won't be used up this fight. It'll have to be a sound barrier for the Defiant, and they're still going to get caught up inside that grab. Space with 3. No escape for the Defiant there, and the Valiant now starting to build some momentum. Rough start, but they picked up speed.
Would have been nice to have that Transcendence if you're Toronto, right? No.
Well, yeah.
Drops at the beginning there to Kareem. You don't have the Transcendence. That Graviton Surge comes, and this is a good play from the Valiant. They're going to use the speed, they're going to get aggressive, catch some players coming out of this one. This is going to buy them space to move the payload around that first corner. It's so deadly, this first corner here. You see they leave the payload, they're going to go back there.
It's all right, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, this is what they wanted.
There's no dogs in the car, it's fine. Now, I guess also, Matt, with how many ultimates the Valiant use, that extra fight, that push, just allows them to get damage. It allows them to be closer to getting their next wave of ultimates, because you see them used in concert so often. Here's the push, both teams again rally.
Kareem's a little out of position there, he makes it back.
Yeah, he was on the high ground, so he was able to drop over the top of the Defiant. Right, so the Defiant, essentially both teams just trade rallies there. No result. And self-destruct again to force the Valiant out, and they caught Fate out as a response. So again, the self-destruct there isn't trying to get shock and awe, 3 kills. It's not supposed to be a top play. It's supposed to separate the Valiant. Make it Fate.
You really get nothing with your Transcendence. If you're the Valiant, you use it to try and keep Fate up. He just gets burst down so quick. Look how much pressure they're putting on Yokping.
He's shield low. He has the shadow. He gets 2 though. Fate quickly puts his shield up, and a sound barrier as well, trying to protect them. The Defiant have options here, and that's a grab from Ivy now. This will slow the Valiant down. A lot of people were caught in that one. That's such an efficient way to win a fight from Ivy. Great response.
The Valiant, though, they do come back with shatter, grab, self-destruct combo. They know the way Aid and Roki have been putting down some damage and also providing heals. They're going to build up these ultimates rather quickly. So you have all 3 support ultimates here. So, oh, that is a really big first pick as they get aggressive. I don't think the Valiant expected that much aggression from Toronto here to come right around the corner.
Yeah, fascinating rotation, wasn't it? Again, driving a wedge between 2 halves of this Valiant squad.
They're forcing them out of like the long spawn door. Usually you see everyone come out of the staircase here, but just so much damage. They're playing so aggressive they're forced to go the long way. Even get back here towards the choke.
Kareem is deep. Oh, it's eaten. I mean, it was pretty telegraphed. Kareem was rushing forward on his own, clearly looking to make a play for his team. But instead, it's the egg on his face. Fate there blocks the damage from the backside of that self-destruct, and Ivy goes down to spaces. Yakpun caught up there. Great Discord orb, once more being applied by Izayaki. And the man himself is sitting in the back line more than happy to support. Kareem against wants to push up. I mean, he got his grab eaten, but he's almost got another one. 65%, and he's charged. He's fired up. He's ready to rumble.
And you get nothing with that grab when NB eats it, but it's a nice Earth Shatter there from Fate that helps set up some kills that give Valiant the chance to finish the map. He doesn't come out with a big shatter there.
Well, speaking of shatters and not being big, Fate was knocked into the air, but Agilities was still able to block it. 1 ultimate down for the Defiant for no gain. The Valiant have to stay close to the payload during this overtime, and they need to push forward and win the fight against the Defiant here. That's not
You're waiting
not
for
stating the
ultimates.
obvious.
You're trying to get Transcendence if you're the Valiant.
Yeah. Izayaki has it. Transcendence, great timing. Izayaki just got that ultimate online. Yakpun tries to go for a sneaky charge from the backside now. Transcendence is necessitated from the side of the Defiant. Big old knockdown though. Transcendence, the tail end of the healing ult, was able to keep the Defiant up despite a 3-man shatter from Fate. He goes forward. Fate so aggressive goes down. Sound barrier didn't keep him alive. And Akari pressing on. He'd be charged up as heck right now. And Agility's slightly caught out of position. He can't heal himself with a repair pack, but he doesn't need to. Kareem finds himself too. Now Roki will have to stall now, but it is just him against the Valiant and a lot of the crowd in this Blizzard Arena, I'm sure. A lot of trials on this map so far. Pitfalls were there, but the Valiant managed to finish the job.
Fate with some big Earth Shatters, man. Didn't get a ton with the Graviton Surges, but Fate with some big shatters. The follow-ups are there, and the Valiant able to complete the map.
Statement performance from the Valiant needs to be followed up. The Defiance now will go on the attack. Well, Envy so far has definitely been headlining in terms of grabs eaten, but it seems like, Matt, that Kariv may as well have been walking up with a shirt that says, I'm about to grab you, bro.
I mean, he had about, when he throws the grab out, there's like 30 seconds left. Where in Overwatch, 30 seconds is a very long time. I mean, you can contest the payload for a very long time. 30 seconds can turn into a minute and 40 if you play the overtime the right way. Where he didn't have to like kind of just charge in and use that grab.
Had a bit more time, perhaps.
Oh, a lot of time to set it up. He could have burned down the Rhine shield a little bit. A lot they could have done there.
I get it. I'm not known for my subtlety either, but the Valiant really needed that grab as a key ultimate on the last push. However, they finished the map. So you see they have 3 checkpoints and no time left in the bank. So essentially Toronto need to finish the map with a bit of time left over, ideally more than a minute. That will set them in great stead here.
Fate has to be careful here.
Yakpung seems to be the one that's getting corralled for the most part. His shield is very low. So the Valiant would like to push their advantage here, but they've kind of allowed the Defiant to get into a comfortable pocket on this high ground. You see Roki and Envy able to go from low to high easily to not split them.
If Fate, though, jumps up and he gets discorded, a headshot, a stun from a Brigitte, they're going to take him out pretty quick. Doesn't have the static shield. You see, he just jumps to the high ground because he's discorded, needs to stay alive, trying to break some line of sight.
Okay, he drops down, but it's not a problem because the Defiant try and rotate to the high ground themselves. Going to be a bit of ticky-tacky here as both these teams try and get a better position. Fate, ooh, he lingered in the backline. He had a primal rage, but look at that. Already 300 HP taken off him, but it's enough to get the heads turning in his direction, and Space uses that opportunity to go in and find 2.
Yeah, they're trying to like get a pick onto Fate, and it seemed like every time they were trying to like rotate around, bait him down a little bit. Fate played it perfectly though, and he's able to build up enough ult charge to get a primal rage. You see, they speed boost him right back to the spawn. They don't want to play that game again. The Winston just too risky against this Reinhardt.
Now that Fate knows that the Defiant are playing Reinhardt, he says, okay, well, I'll bring mine as well.
A little late, yeah.
Yeah, he gets there though, and the Transcendence is going to help them. Oh, Fate dropped his shield, didn't want to waste it, then got charged. The timing wasn't quite there for Yakpung to set up the combo. But the Transcendence from the Defiant will propel them forward, and Space's mech is the casualty. A little bit split, Fate tries to return. Great appearance. He makes a cameo entrance from stage left and throws up the shield. It keeps the Valiant ticking at least for this fight, and now the Defiant have cycled through a lot of those impactful ultimates. Now they need to get it done the old-fashioned way. Kariv has a grab, Space with the self-destruct. Yakpung, only one caught there, but with no Reinhardt shield, the Defiant have to respect the self-destruct. And still has a shield, he has his own. It's not enough to protect him from that blast.
And I think he did get bubbled by Ivy at the end, and maybe he thought he was going to be able to live, but not the case. So Fate now is built up in Earth Shatter. It's crazy how fast Reinhardts get their ults in this meta, right? I mean, you throw down a grab, you have a Shatter, you use it, you're back with another Shatter the next fight.
Yeah, if you watch Season 1 of the Overwatch League and then just saw a stats page from Season 2 for Reinhardt's, it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
However, Reinhardt now is much a damage dealer in his own right. Fate's shield is low. See the cracks appearing. Agility somehow gets out of that very compromising spot, but Fate perhaps underestimated the durability of Yakpung's shield. Charged into the wall, but the Transcendence was good. Will there be a barrier? No! There won't be! Envy breaks through with 2. And now the Valiant looking like they're on the last legs on this defensive hold. 3 minutes again shaved off. But that'll be it.
Yeah, and the self-destruct comes a little late. You know, Envy's kind of flying around when the grab goes down. Then he drops it, and they just push Fate over to the side where he's not able to get back to the team, shield him up. Really nice play there from the Defiant.
You see Fate, he's thinking very much about the durability of his shield, but it doesn't matter if it's full health, if he's knocked out of the way. Nice setup for the Defiant. There are more than one way to set up those self-destruct teamfight wins. And look at this, the switch, Envy to the Sombra.
See what they try and do with this here. Maybe you think you can get a hack really early on. It'll be the grab, self-destruct combo. I mean, it probably would have been a good combo, but everybody was dead before the D.Va mech went off. So you'll have everybody here trying to back up for the Defiant. They do get Roki.
The Valiant probably aren't too upset about that one. You know, when you're desuited as D.Va, you don't get ult percent that counts towards your mech necessarily. It's just about resuiting. So I think Fate's probably happy enough to swing through and have the self-destruct just fizzle.
You do have a good opportunity to land a big EMP. We're quite a ways away from it with Envy at 28%. Looks like the Valiant going to engage here with Sound Barrier. Sound Barrier answered back. It's going to be a Graviton Surge. And you know, you use the Grav in your own spawn. You know, look how many ultimates they have to invest to get out of their own spawn.
Again, and the Valiant are happy with this. Now, in all fairness, though, they do exchange some of those ultimates. So the Valiant are forcing ultimates. They're also using them themselves.
But Toronto may need to use more to even move the pace.
They'd hate to have to use EMP to break through here, but with Yakpung down, they might have to dig a little bit deeper, and they do. The EMP is required at this point, but it still may not be enough. 8 down to Kirkbride, Space finding Ivy. The Valiant have 3 players still alive, and that includes 2 support. Space, oh sure, I'll step up and be the damage dealer. And the Defiant use so much. Izayaki being kept alive by Space, but only for a short time. Eventually, Roki comes over the top of 2.
But all of this has bought the Valiant so much time. They probably have another 2 fights at this. So you can use the Lucio speed boost, get in a position, maybe fight by the underpass here, you know, a little bit past it, and then get one more final attempt. But, you know, forcing out some of those ultimates is, ooh, Envy gets a little weak, trying to poke for some damage up top. Gonna have to back up.
Here's that grab, 8 caught straight away, Transcendent. Self-destruct here, so Yakpung needs to keep that shield up. Nice little turn there. Stella was still charged out. So you saw Fate trying to set up the combo by removing his shield. He didn't get the big one, but he still got the kill.
I love just the aggression here from LA. You have the advantage. Use the Lucio speed boost to push on forward, gain some more ult charge. And it may not seem like a lot difference between, let's say, like 24 and 35, but that 35 jumps up to like 60 pretty quick. It's a difference in seconds in terms of getting the ults, which may end up saving them.
There's no real reason for Toronto to lose this next fight. They, for all intents and purposes, with 5 ultimates, should win. But we saw them invest so much in a prior fight and get little to no progress. And he's playing a dangerous game! And Agility shuts him down. That was the EMP now off the table. The Toronto Defiant have to go anyway. So they start off with the Graviton Surge, but the Transcendence was there. And now the Valiant renewing their push forward. 6 seconds left. The Defiant aren't being let anywhere near this payload, and they got to push back. Yakpung connects with Fate on the charge in on Kirkbride. He is charged and ready to go. Sound barrier now expiring from the Valiant, but it's helped a lot in the early stages of this fight. Here's the grab. Self-destruct over the top here. The combo not complete, but still forcing the Defiant back. Over time, Envy now finally getting to use that ult. He's saved, but look at this. Discipline from the Valiant. They take a big step back and say, no, we need to regroup and go again. The rally making sure they do that without anyone getting picked off. Fate close to an Earth Shatter, but that's about it for the Valiant. That's the EMP though. 3 players caught by that one, but Kirkbride fight back. It's a 4v4 now with the Graviton Surge. Izayaki has going to have to go for the Transcendence. That is not enough to keep space up, even with the huge amount of healing it provides. Ivy was discorded, but then his own bubble will remove that damage booster from him, and he can chase down the dregs of the Valiant. It was indeed a staunch defense from Los Angeles, but eventually Toronto break through.
And the Valiant played that so well. At one point we saw, you know, when Envy dies that push previously, what they're trying to do is they're trying to bait out the support ultimates. So they actually bubbled Envy, and he went in and he came out of stealth. And he was trying to maybe like think that they were going to use the EMP in the crowd of everybody, get a support ult out, and then just translocate away. The Valiant didn't fall for it, and he actually translocates away. They know exactly where he's going, and he's weak, and they're able to take him out. To Shatter opens up the fight.
No one knocked down by that one.
Grab here from Kirkbride. Let's see if they can follow up.
Yeah, comfortable there for the Valiant. But the Toronto Defiant have bought themselves a little bit more time. So they do have another fight, perhaps one more after that. These support ultimates from Aiden Roki need to be leveraged very carefully.
I think they're going to try and just get aggressive here really quick, because he knows Space does not have his mech right now. So you don't have the defense matrix, just have the Diva Bunny Blaster. As Envy takes out Agilities here off the break, so you usually don't see a Sombra like being able to solo a Brigitte in the back, where 2 big kills there from Envy. That allows you to save some of these ultimates for the next fight. Like,
Toronto,
those 2 picks are huge.
Best case scenario for them. They need to finish the map too. So Los Angeles Valiant, again, they try and bluff a little bit with Space still in mini Diva form, as in she's not piloting a mech at that particular time. He has returned to the mech, and now the final fight begins in earnest. Ivy looks to step forward with that Graviton Surge. He does not want that to be eaten, and he sends it into the corner. That's a good way to prevent that from occurring. And Fate, he couldn't get the healing. Izayaki just maybe didn't have line of sight for him there. The Fire Strike was enough to finish him off, and Achilios is going to go down next. Ivy set up on the payload here and hacked up his Kariv right now. We can't really get involved. He needs his barriers to keep his damage going up. Without them, he's going to hit you like a fish, and that's about it. Space self-destruct on the middle of the point. Stellar in the back. You see him forcing Kariv away, and finally, the Zarya falls. Fate pushes very far in, but he was going to be hacked by Envy either way. And Achilios has to get there. The Defiant, they've matched the Valiant. Both teams have been able to finish the map, but neither have any time left. Oh, it's a spicy one, which means, of course, ladies and gentlemen, that there is more of this map to come. Both teams will have a minute to get as far as they possibly can through Hollywood. It's going to be an exciting climax one way or another. See you in a bit. We'll call this one extra innings, ladies and gents. 1 minute apiece for both Toronto and Los Angeles to get as far as they possibly can through this map. They may be not even capturing point A. We've seen it. We've seen full map completions in overtime.
You mentioned, that the stats looking crazy, right? I'm over here, in between the break, looking at the damage. From the Valiant, you have 95,000 damage.
Right.
To 93,000 damage of the Defiant, with both Zarya players, Kariv and Ivy, both sitting above 25k themselves, which I have to get a check on, but I'm pretty sure that is like very close to the most damage we've ever had.
In a map, right?
In a map.
And this map's not even done yet, so expect potential records to be broken there for Zarya enthusiasts. Defiant drop down, they want to take the fight early, and they isolate Agilities. Discord Orb, once again, very cleverly placed on the Brigitte to make it a much easier dispatch. But Izayaki deals with Ivy, who extended just a little bit too far. The Valiant down to only 4 players in this locale, and yeah, they just have to try and back out. The sooner they finish, the sooner they can return. The problem is, Matt, there's no pits or anything to jump down to sort of force a respawn for yourself. So you actually are at the mercy of the enemy team to when you are felled.
Yeah.
Brutal. 12 seconds left.
You lose Kariv and Custa so late is now they'll be able to get back into the fight. They're going to walk right into the shatter, though.
4 seconds left. Yakpung lining him up here, waiting for him to run down the wicket at them, and that'll be the Earth Shatter. It connects! 3 is Yaki Space Agility's all knocked to the ground. Custer, all he can do is desperately try and keep the ticker going. He might need a pacemaker for it at this stage. Space, desuited, drops onto the point, keeps the stall for a little bit longer. Kariv doesn't even seem interested in trying. He knows the Valiants have done their dash on the attack, and you've got to be happy with that if you're Toronto. Now, your win condition is clearly defined.
It's as good of a defense as you can have there. They come out with the shatter. They connect with 3, and that's really where I think the first push from the Valiant, like once you lost 1 or 2 players, you need to die really quick. The issue is Toronto knows that, so they just take their sweet time just finishing them off, right? You don't want to take out Custa right away. You don't want to take out Kariv. You want to let them linger for a bit. Just burn the clock.
A draw is not out of the question here on this map. If Toronto also failed to get 1/3 of the progress on capturing point A, neither team will be awarded a point, and that would put Toronto Defiant still up 1-0. I'll just see if they come out with something different, something spicy, or do they stick to their guns? So far, both teams have played very solid fundamentals, very much what we expect to see right now, and what the sort of most viable strategies are. By that I mean 3 tanks, 3 supports.
This is about as close as a game you can get. I mean, both teams, separated by one final blow, so actual kills to death. And then you have the damage on Toronto is only ahead by 500. They do have a slight advantage in terms of healing, but it's been extremely back and forth. The Valiant again with the Winston on D with only a minute to go. If Fate gets caught out here, this could be a map loss for them.
Discord Orb, a shield bash from Stella.
It's so risky, man.
Let's see if Fate plays any safer with that in mind. He's playing to the left here, and he's been spotted. So instead, the Defiant push to the point. Fate goes in. Oh, that's the problem. He gets caught out. It's traded at least. So both teams lose their main tanks. And to be fair, no Reinhardt shield available for Toronto. Definitely has to give them pause for thought. The Aid, oh, nice use of defense matrix, but it's not enough. Aid is picked off. Now you're going to see the Valiant push. Before, it was probably too risky to try and go for an all-out brawl with only one player down on the enemy team. Two, though, LA feeling confident, and Toronto are in the same position they were. Except the Valiant don't have an Earth Shadow to stop the Toronto Defiant in their tracks. We'll see if that makes a difference. One last push for Toronto.
Stellar closest to his ultimate with Rally. Gonna have to get a touch. They're gonna work their way onto the point with the Reinhardt.
Shielded Fate, drops in with a bubble. Stellar Yakpung looking pretty average in the back corner there. He couldn't go anywhere. Discord or placement. The focus fire from the Valiant. Again, about as good as you can hope for. Self-destruct claims Aid. There'll be no one really else left from the Defiant after the fallout here. Izzyaki, headshot after headshot, finish on Roki. And Hollywood results in a draw. That first map in hand, Toronto still lead the series, but the Valiant push back and avert a potential 0-2 scenario for them. A lot of legwork still to be done, but that's all going to be happening on the other side of these messages.